Hi guys, welcome back to another Star Wars figure review, and I know it's been a while since I uploaded my last video, and as you can probably tell by the background of the video, I am in a different room, and that's kind of just been the state of things. I've just been in the process of moving room, and as you can see by the boxes in the background, I still kind of am, but I've sort of got everything in the ready sort of state to just sort of film a couple of reviews. I just had that sort of off the bat decision to just do one now. So today we're going to take a look at one of the figures from the vintage collection. And this figure in question is someone who is from the Clone Wars in Legends. This was the Clone Wars, it was originally called the Clone Wars Multimedia Project, and what was part of that mainly was a 2D microseries, also called, which was titled Star Wars Clone Wars. And that was like one of the most major parts, it's one of the most recognised parts of it that we have there. And we'll be looking at a character who was featured predominantly in at least the first half of this one as well. He appears in the second half as well, and that is Captain Fordo, the clone trooper captain for the ARC troopers, as just to say. Now, we'll take a look at the packaging that this one comes in. Now, it's vintage collection packaging style that they've done for this, and they've given the old cartoon look of the character for the vintage card back on the side there, and of course they've given the old Clone Wars logo. And of course this does mark 50 years of Lucasfilm. It's a nice looking card back, nice shot from the series of Captain Fordo getting ready to be in action. And on the back we do have a still shot from the Star Wars Clone Wars series, and that's definitely there showing some of the action of them, because they, in the micro series, they do take part in a battle on Mutalist, and then later on they're sent off to Hypori because General Grievous is at large there, and they're sent there to rescue the Jedi. And then on the back there you do have the old timeline of Lucasfilm from its inception up until 2021, so that includes just all the films in the Star Wars kind of thing that were there, as well as a mention of droids and Legends and the Clone Wars and that. There's unfortunately no mention of the Mandalorian in there, but I don't think that really matters that much. So yeah, it's a nice looking packaging, really nicely put there. I'll be preserving this because I've started finding a way to preserve card backs for this without taking up too much space. But I'll probably get around to showing that off when I do a little collection update, because I am hoping to shoot one in this room once I've finished laying everything out, because it seems to just be a never-ending task. It's been over the past few months of me doing this, because if any of you are not actually noticing, this is actually the room that I filmed in when I started on the channel before I went back to uni, so I finally got this room back, so I've just sort of taken it back, so that's kind of what's going on with that. So I've just got it all sort of laid out. But now we look at Captain Fordo in general detail, and I'm loving the paint application that this figure has. So of course he's an ARC trooper. He's different to the ARC troopers that we know in canon, these being not heavy, so I say fives and Echo that we know of from the Clone Wars, whereas this one exists in Legends. And as I said, he joins Obi-Wan Kenobi on Mutalist, and he's a really good put together. If you have the Obi-Wan Kenobi in clone armor figure, which was released in the Legacy Collection in 2008, it honestly is a perfect companion to this. Or if you even have like the ARC, because there is an ARC Trooper in this wave as well, which is basically the same figure as this, except it's repainted in blue and not in red. But I will get to that when I do a review of that one another time. So yeah, that's like they're just a nice combination. Or even again with the Ki-Adi-Mundi, you could have them there, because of course Ki-Adi-Mundi is fighting General Grievous, and the ARC troopers are dispatched to Hypori by Obi-Wan, most likely by Obi-Wan, and they basically take control of the situation there and help evacuate, including with Aayla Secura and Shakti, who are of course unconscious at this point. But I'm just giving the full down of this figure. I mean, Hasbro have sculpted this one really well. It's still got elements of old style sculpting. There's just something that's notable there as you look down it, and just the weapons. As I said, weapons included is twin pistols, so it's similar to Captain Rex, except they've got longer barrels. They're both exactly the same, which are there. You also get the helmet, which is removable, so you get the clone face underneath, which is really well sculpted too. I mean, these guys never really showed their faces on screen in the series. You maybe had a shot from behind of one of them putting the helmet on as they gear up in Volume 2 of Star Wars Clone Wars, but we never actually saw their faces. I'm not sure about too much of the expanded material around this as well, because outside of the series I've only read a couple of the Dark Horse comics that take place during the Battle of Jabeam, but I have picked up a couple of graphic novel volumes as well. I just haven't had the time to sit down and read them. I managed to get those cheap out of Forbidden Planet, so I was able to get those there and have a little start. I've just got to get around to having a little read of them. But yeah, these blasters are like I said, twin pistols that they wield when they're fighting, and they do slot rather nicely into the holsters, because the holsters have been split at the side, so you can just try and get it into the correct position you want it in, just so you can have it in correctly. So I'll just try and do that so you can see it. So it can sort of fit in well. You don't like risk snapping the holsters when you insert the blaster pistol into there. And something I'm just noticing is that the belts to the figures are actually removable as well. You can actually remove the entire thing. I did not notice that until just now when filming, but you can actually take the belt off too. It's a very easily snap removable thing. I don't see what the use in that is, other than if you want to perhaps take the lower part of the tunic off, which Hasbro have nicely soft goods applied to this, because you probably expect them to have done this with plastic goods. I mean, it would have been so with older figures, definitely, like back in the original waves. 'Cause I know back in 2003, when this series was released originally, there was a wave of figures released for Volume 1. I know there wasn't one for Volume 2 though, but they were released in the animated style. They had like Obi-Wan, Anakin, Mace Windu. Mace Windu of course has a Black Series version of him coming soon, as well as General Grievous. And there is a Black Series of this character as well, Captain Fordo, also set to come very soon too. So they would have that. But as I said, they would more likely have plastic goods. I know there was a realistic version of them released as well, because I've looked on Jedi Business and they've sort of shown that there was the animated look and the realistic look that both these figures had. I'll go down the articulation. You have the ball jointed neck, the ball hinged shoulders and elbows, ball hinged wrists, a ball jointed torso. There is a bit of the ball hinged hips that are seen on the figure here, so you try and get some poses. Ball hinged knees and ball hinged ankles. This time, surprisingly, they haven't gone with the rocker for the ankle. It's just the standard ball hinge for the ankle. So it's a bit of a shame to not see it with the rocker. So it's kind of being a bit kit bashy with previous clones that we've had before in the vintage collection, but nonetheless, this guy's still fantastic. I mean, I've never owned one of these ones from the Legend side of Clone Wars. Like outside of from the Micro series, the only characters I had were Obi-Wan, Sass-Teen, also in clone armor, Padme from the skirmish on Ilum. So I never even picked up Dirge or anyone like that. So that was what I had. But they were the ones I mainly had from that part of the line. But I do have some others from Legends Clone Wars. There was a comic 2-pack which included Anakin and an assassin droid. So that one I picked up years and years ago. But I mean, this is just nice. It's nice to see Hasbro branching into the Legend side of things a bit more. And the fact that they even gave this its own Clone Wars specific tag on the card back rather than just saying Expanded Universe, I love that. I think that's really nice of Hasbro to do that. And I said ARC Trooper Captain, it says there, and there's the artwork once again, so you can see it. As I said, they take place on Munilist, and they fight. Basically, they're heading to get the banking clan, and they ultimately end up fighting Dirge, who was sent there by Count Dooku. But this guy just really stands in. Look, the paint application's great. The fact that the pauldrons and all, like the pauldron and the soft goods, all just the different editions, it really stands there among, like, if you have like a Clone Trooper collection. This one's there, and there's also a chance for collectors who maybe weren't collecting when the Microseries was popular to get some of these characters again, and just all the difference. I think my only downside is that the rangefinder here isn't movable, like you can't move it in front of his face, but they seem to be doing that a lot with vintage collection figures these days, so it's a shame, but it's not too much to complain about, and he just sets out really well. A really red display figure there with the red markings, really fits in with the Clone Wars shelf, especially there. And I think he's just a great character. All the different paint details, while it is the same sculpt as a standard Clone Trooper, there's not much to fault it with. I think it's very much worth getting this one here. And the Black Series one will be worth getting too. And just the entirety of this wave, I've got all but one figure out of this wave since they've been released. So I'll be giving you a look at as many of them as I can. There's plenty more that I've got quite a backlog coming on of figures that I've bought in the past few months. And so I'll be able to give you a look at those, and then you'll be able to see what I think of them. So I hope you enjoyed looking at Captain Fordo here from the vintage collection. I think leave a link in the description below to where you can buy him at Star Action Figures, because I'm pretty sure he's in stock at the time of filming this review, so you'll be able to have a look there and see what you think of him. So yeah, that's Captain Fordo done there. And if you do enjoy this video, drop a like on it, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and we'll leave my Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram in links in the description once again, and I'll see you next time.